So, a lot of people don't know, and I rarely probably talk about the fact that every day I have been battling alongside with the work and the things I'm creating and my self-doubt to manage a autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2009, and it has been a journey and a challenge. I know a lot of times we see how people move in the world and how they work hard, or they have their families, or they have this Instagram polished life, and they don't realize that on the back end of it, it might be filled with nights where you can't sleep because of tremendous pain in my abdomen, or weekly visits to the acupuncturist to keep myself sane and moving. you know, a little over a year ago, I actually lost a lot of my mobility and didn't wasn't really able to walk for a few months. And after nights of my husband dragging me to bed on his back and putting me in bed or carrying me around the house, I had to try to find things that worked for me. And one of the biggest steps that I took is realizing that no is not a cuss word, that clear boundaries make the space I need to be able to be a creative. And that also meant me taking a part time job instead of a full time job. This also meant me taking on projects, right, that were going to make sense for me. And more than anything, really committing to my craft. I think for a long time, as much as I was, the poet laureate of Houston, I was also still seeing myself in this very small way that didn't think anything was really possible. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that in some ways, my body is a very broken one, or at least it feels like it. And I've started to just give myself some new permissions, to say that the days that I can exercise, it is a celebration of what my body can do that day, not a condemnation of all the other choices I may have made on the others to cope and to grieve the body that I'm in, and that I am allowed to be sad and I am allowed to be happy. And those things can live in the same moment. And more than anything, that I am allowed to be present in my body fully, wholeheartedly at every moment, whether that be present in pain and present in the hard times, or whether that be being able to be wrapped in my children's love and hugged and kissed on when they won't go to sleep at night because they drive me crazy. But I wouldn't change it for the world. So, whatever world you have around you, just know that just because you have this person in your mind and you think you know how their life works and everything looks glitz and glam, there may be a whole lot of things that you don't understand. There may be a whole lot of suffering that came before that joy that comes in the morning. And all of those things are okay, to be in every stage of that life, to be striving and thriving, and to be living the life that will birth really great art later on.